Today, you're joining us on a weekend getaway to Helsinki, Finland. In this video, we're gonna show you the highlights of the city that you cannot miss on your first visit here. As soon as we landed, we hopped on a train that goes from the airport straight to the city center. This ride only takes about half an hour and costs €4.40 on the HSL app, which is the official app of local public transport authority. No cash needed. We then arrived at the central station, right in the heart of the city. At the entrance, you'll come across these famous huge statues of 4 lantern bearers, the first evidence of the distinctive Finnish art. And there's a lot of statues in Helsinki. But before we did any sightseeing, we went to check into our hotel. We stayed in Citybox Hotel, which lies about a 20-minute walk away from the city center. For a budget hotel, it was very nice and modern. We paid €66 per night, which is not bad for Nordic standards. After a short break, we started the first part of our sightseeing at the Zoo Bay, which is right next to the hotel and connects the neighborhood of Kallio, where we are staying, with the city center. But because we arrived here in the afternoon, we took a walk to the other side through the park. This tall tower that stands out from the otherwise unassuming neighborhood is the Kallio church. Built in the style of National Romanticism, it's a representative of the period when Finland was fighting for independence. And then, because it was late, we went to taste some local delicacies. We enjoyed the local cuisine very much. Then again, and again. And after all that, it was time to go to bed. The next morning, we finally went to visit some of Helsinki's highlights. So our first stop of the day is the Helsinki Cathedral, one of the most recognizable landmark of the city, which is unfortunately for us under construction. It was built in 1852, and until the Finnish independence, it was known as St. Nicholas Church, to honor the Finnish Duke and the Russian Tsar Nicholas I. And in the adjacent square, there is a statue of his successor, Alexander II. Just 1 block away, right across this blue city hall, there's one of our favorite spots in the city. a street market next to the harbor where they sell street food and snacks, handmade crafts and souvenirs. Some of the souvenirs can be a bit pricey. But eventually, we found what we were looking for. And went to have something to eat. They had seafood, reindeer sausages, meatballs, pastry, pretty much everything really. But we went for the salmon soup, a pie, and a coffee. You can either sit inside in one of these tents, or embrace the Nordic tradition of freezing your butt off. And the salmon soup was amazing. Roman approves. From the harbor, you can take a ferry to the Korkeasaari Zoo or Suomenlinna Fortress. Both sit on their own small islands just outside of the city. Also, right next to the harbor is a seawater swimming pool. Obviously, it was too cold for us to go there. Just across the bridge to Katajanokka, there is another major landmark. Uspenski Cathedral, one of the largest Orthodox churches in Europe. Back in the city center, we continued our sightseeing and kept running into some unusual statues. These statues of seemingly odd designs are all over the city. Being a very modern city, Helsinki don't really have much of the old architecture that we have, for example, in Prague. That's because it was pretty much destroyed during the 1918 Civil War and during the Second World War when it was bombed by Soviets. And so nowadays it just has kind of plain looking architecture everywhere. At least that's what we saw anyway. And many of those monuments that they have here are stuff like this. This one, for example, is the memorial of the Winter War, but it's just not like an old, grandiose looking thing. It's kind of, modern art. That's what it is. But they have lots of those. There's a museum, which is closed, obviously. It's a little bit unfortunate that we came here during this time when kind of the whole city seems to be under construction somehow. In the city center, we came across this rather cute Moomin Shop. If you're not familiar with those, Moomins are children's stories created by the Finnish author Tove Jansson. They're about the Moomin family, which are these little trolls that look like white hippos. Moomins are also quite popular in other parts of Europe. As we continued walking north, we arrived to the Parliament House. Across the street from there is the central library called Ode, Museum of Contemporary Art, live music venue, and more statues. From here, we walked through the seaside park back to Kallio, had some dinner, and went to sleep. The next day, we went to the suburbs and visited places that made us very happy indeed. You will see that in the next video. Leave us a like if you enjoyed this one, and we'll meet again soon. Take care.